Hey, how we doing out there? Hey, got my new Bonafide SS127, and we're gonna go ahead and put a trolley anchor on it. Well, I went ahead and got the YakAttack lever anchor trolley, and I got the HT version because I can get into the front and the back of the kayak to go ahead and put the backing plates in. Now in the middle, I just went ahead and used the screws, so I didn't figure it was that important, but on the ends I did want that backing plate, so that's your preference. I will say right up front though, when you go to install these screws, don't use your drill motor. You know, with a Phillips head bit, even though this is a quality kayak, still you can strip those out pretty easily. So go ahead and just use a regular screwdriver. You'll see throughout the video that's what I use. But this is a really nice system. It's got a place that keeps your anchor ring here, and you lift it up and it comes right out. And then you can just pull that along, and you got rollers on these, so it moves really easy. Okay. The other nice thing I like about this is your rope is going to shrink, but these here, they help hold that rope up in there and keep it from flopping around so much, so you don't have to have it, you know, banjo string tight. So it's a really nice system. It has a lever lock, so if you have it out here a little ways, you have it out there a little ways, and you want it, you're in the wind and you want to lock it down, you just move this little lever here and it locks it in where you can't move it and holds you right in the position you want to be. And you just release it when you're done, bring it back. You lift this up like this, put it in, and then as it falls down, it locks into place. So really, really nice system. Okay, well, let's get to it and I'll show you how I put this on. We got a 1364 bit, and another YouTuber did a really nice install on one of these, and I'm going to go ahead and use his measurements, and he went about 16 inches off the front of the unit, which makes sense. That puts it kind of right here in this area, and if you reach in here and look, that feels like a pretty good area I'll be able to get my my backing plates on. All right, so we'll come up off that crease just a little ways. Maybe 1/4 of an inch. Okay, get that marked. Then we'll take it out. Finish drilling our hole. All right. Then if you look at these backing plates, they've got a marked pulley and edge clamp. So I want to use the pulley side. Let's go ahead and get our marine goop out first so we can get it sealed before we start. All right, so we'll take our clear marine sealant. We want to be careful not to get any on the wheel that rotates. And put a little bit in the hole. Make sure we got the backing plate in the right position. On the bolts, there's some of them are short and some are long. So the longer one is obviously going to be the one that goes through the pulley. And that'll do it for the front. Now I'll clean that up a little bit and we'll move to the back. And measure back about 12 inches. Put it somewhere right in there. Okay. First thing we got to do, we got to take this hatch off so we can reach on the inside there. You always want to make sure you know what you're getting into before you drill holes in the kayak. Alright, yeah, I should be able to reach back there pretty easily. Now, bear in mind too, if you want to put it up here, a little farther up, you do have these spots where you can drill in and put a rudder in the back. So, alright, somewhere in there. All right. Now remember, don't go wild with this stuff. Just a little dab, because what you don't want happening, you don't want to get that on that wheel. You want that wheel to turn nice and free. All right, so I went ahead and temporarily put my rope on there just to get an idea of what I was looking at. And I want to fit my centerpiece or my holder somewhere where it's pretty convenient, you know, kind of maybe upwards of my seat, which looks like this little flat spot here, which is probably the best. But I don't think I want to put it up as high as they were showing, because then you got this big bow in it when you get done. And I checked it, and it looks like if I move it down here, this still snaps in there plenty tight. I think it'll be all right. So I'm going to move it down a little bit farther. Now for this, we change up, we use an 1/8 inch drill bit. Let's go ahead and get it close and we'll mark the first hole. Alright, so don't forget to put the little lever in there. And make sure you get it in there the right way. So you can see the rope will go in there. And then when you flip it that way, it locks it in. Okay? Go ahead and get our screw to start in there. All right, now we'll get it square and mark another hole. All right, we'll go ahead and get our rope put in there. And since these are actually threaded into the kayak, we'll go ahead and just put a dab of the marine silicone on the screw itself. And then we'll go ahead and pull this screw out and put a little silicone in it. Got free movement there. Now let's check this. Snaps right in there. Okay. Make sure our lever lock works. Yep. That works good. All right. Now we got these. That looks like that'll be out of the way. Yeah, it looks pretty straight. So now, one of the other things, what I did with my original kayak, I kind of tried to do something like this and it didn't work out. But what I did notice when I'm using my trolley anchor, I looked at a couple of them and it looks like they're getting about a foot of stroke at a time. And I'd like to get a little bit more. So I'm gonna put 2 of these on here, but I'm gonna move them a little ways apart. All right, so I think I'm gonna put these about 2 foot on either side, and then 2 foot on either side. Then there are 4 of them, so I can add another one up here, because this from here to there is about 6 foot, and from here to the back one's about 4 foot, so it's a little bit uneven. Okay. So 2 foot's gonna put me somewhere right around that crease right there. Now I want to keep this on the flat part of this, so remember that when you're putting it in. One other thing I learned with my first kayak, if you don't use some silicone over the course of a day, you get little drips in there, and then you end up having to flip your kayak over at the end of the night to get that, you know, it's probably not even a pint of water, but just better to throw a dab of silicone on there. So I think I'll go ahead and add 1 more of these up here about 2 foot, and then like I said, from the anchor back about 2 foot, and then I think we'll be right about where we want to be. All right, so let's go ahead and put our anchor ring on now. And it does look like there's a particular way to put that. If you look, there's some grooves in the back there. So I'm going to assume that that's the side that goes in towards the kayak. Just tie a simple overhand knot. We'll heat that up just a little bit. All right, that doesn't look too bad. Now you want some slack in that, because as it gets wet, it'll contract and it'll actually shrink up a little bit. And if you want to tighten it up later, all you got to do is just take this knot and move it a little bit. All right, we'll go ahead and cut the excess off. Yeah, put a little heat on that. All right. Snap that in there, and I think that about does it. Yeah, that's a lot nicer than my homemade one. And I think it was only like $44, and that was for the HD, and the other model I think was $35 or something. So it's not real expensive, guys. I would go ahead and spend the extra money, because that just works so much better. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe. Let's get out on the water and have a great day.